YouTube, what's going on? This regular Ravens fan coming back at you with another video. And this video is I'm gonna make this video a little different. First of all, people, trust your eyes. As I always say, trust your eyes. You gotta trust your eyes when you watch this game. But we're gonna get into the back and forth, all the banter, all the unnecessariness about Lamar Jackson working out. Not working out, but having an event for the kids, and Lamar Jackson chose to basically line up and do a few drills with the kids, Played a little DB, played a little wide receiver against the kids, giving them an experience that they'll probably cherish for the rest of their lives. Now, Shannon Sharpe spoke recently, and he said that, it's a bad move. And I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Sharpe. I do understand where you're coming from. However, delivery is everything in a message. Delivery is everything in a message. If you have a child and you say to your child, baby, baby, don't go outside and run down those steps the way you're doing, because guess what? You could fall and hurt yourself, and that's not good. Versus saying, baby, you so dumb for running down them steps. Don't you know what could happen to you, you dummy? The message might be the same message, but it's all in the delivery as to how that message is going to be received. And when you come tell somebody that they're stupid or they're dumb for doing something that they're doing from the kindness of their heart, they're gonna perceive that as a negative comment towards them. But I understand what you're saying, Mr. Sharpe. You're saying what you're trying to say is, don't jeopardize your money. That's basically what you're trying to say. But your delivery and how you said it and the things you brought up is the things that angered the Ravens nation and angered probably Lamar Jackson and his camp. But I'm going to get into your response to Lamar Jackson's response. I'm going to let everybody hear it, and we're going to see if you're going to double down on how you deliver your message. So let's see what you come with.
Earlier this week, after a video surfaced of him playing defensive back and wide receiver on a basketball court with some kids, Lamar took some heat for his decision-making, especially as his new contract looms, but defended himself on Twitter saying this: "It's better to have them kids out there having fun than playing with guns and stuff, so next year we're running it back with even more fun." Shannon, what's your response to Lamar's response?
I think Lamar thought I was attacking him. I was giving him credit for being in the community, going back and letting the kids see that Lamar Jackson came from a very similar neighborhood, and they can get out just like Lamar did. Skip, I talk about all the time that my brother going pro was the greatest thing for me, because I saw somebody that lived in the very house, had the same upbringing, ate the food that I ate. He got out. Hell, I could get out too. I'm not criticizing, but you know what, Lamar Jackson, you're right. I should have kept my damn mouth shut, and I normally do. I don't normally volunteer information. Normally, athletes, especially football players, will reach out to me, or their representative will reach out to me and say, Shannon, can you talk to such and such? Do you mind reaching out to them? I reach out to said individual. We have a conversation. I say, now your representative have my number. You're welcome to get it and call me anytime. So you're right, Lamar Jackson. I shouldn't give a damn if you get in your car and drive 130 miles an hour. That's your life. That's your career. You're right, Lamar. I shouldn't care if you putting yourself at risk on a basketball court, running routes, which you are a quarterback, playing DB, which you are a quarterback. You're right, Lamar. It's my fault. I should have kept my mouth shut. Do you, bruh. Do you.
And there you go, right? You heard what he said, right? If you weren't, you started your conversation by saying, I think Lamar Jackson thought I was attacking him, and I wasn't attacking him. I was saying this. But you are attacking him, Shannon. Don't you see? You don't hear yourself when you talk? If you're bringing up, if a guy does something, right, wrong, and indifferent, and you bring up anything, every other thing negative that they've done, you're attacking them. Let's look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson filmed himself driving at about 100 miles an hour on a straightaway, right? With no other cars in sight, but he did that, and we all know it's dangerous to drive at that speed, right? It's some football players and athletes out here, though, that I've seen videos of, flying in airplanes, driving in NASCARs. But that's fine, because it is dangerous, and I'm not disputing if it's dangerous. But let's look at what Lamar Jackson did. Lamar Jackson has not posted another video since that video of him driving in excessive speeds. So maybe he learned from that mistake. Right, wrong, and different. Maybe he learned from that mistake. But you brought it up. You brought that up. You brought up him driving fast talking about him giving an event for kids and playing football on the hard court. Okay, Shannon, if you think that that's wrong, that's fine. That man is 24 years old. He's not the age you are. When you were 24 years old, Shannon Sharpe, you did not make every right decision. None of us at age 24 made the right decision. None of us at age 25 made the right decision all the time. That's why you grow. That's part of becoming mature and becoming an adult. This young man is, for all intents and purposes, still a young man. Allow him that. It's your delivery. He's came back and didn't say anything negative about you per se. He said it's better than having those kids out there playing with guns and other things. And we know what emoji he used for other things. He didn't say, Shannon Sharpe, you an idiot. So why do you attack him about driving fast? Something he did in his rookie year as a 21-year-old. A lot of 21-year-olds driving 100 miles an hour. Here in Baltimore, where we live at, it's a lot of 30-year-olds who drive at 100 miles an hour. He didn't do it over and over and over again. He's not out there drag racing. And he did this. Okay, I don't believe he was going 100 miles an hour. I'm talking about on that hard court. I don't believe he was running his full speed. I don't believe he was playing with these children to the absolute best of his ability. I believe he was giving these children an experience, these young people an experience that will maybe help turn their lives around. Maybe these guys are thinking about going left and they remember, you know what? Man, when I went to that camp with Lamar Jackson, that was so much fun. I'm going to try to do that. And just maybe they'll stay out of trouble. He's giving them an experience. I don't hear anyone criticizing any of these quarterbacks out here who go to these golfing events. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. When you're trying to hit a golf ball 100 and 200 plus yards down the fairway, you can hurt an oblique muscle. You can hurt a wrist. You can hurt a shoulder. You know, and then anyway, let's just say anyway. We just watched Dak Prescott get hurt, right? Granted, it was on the football field. But no matter where it was, we watched the quarterback get hurt who was on the precipice of signing a contract. Let's take out the semantics of, well, his injury was here and this injury could have been there. The injury actually happened. A player, a quarterback, African-American quarterback, on the verge of signing a generational wealth-changing contract. He got hurt before he had that contract. And you know what happened? You know what funny thing happened? He got that contract because he was that good. Just maybe, just like when Patrick Mahomes hurts his foot and has to miss games and has to get surgery. You know, just maybe the Ravens think Lamar Jackson is that good that we'll pay him even if he does get hurt during this event. Just maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying it's right for him to play basketball or for him to play football on a basketball court. I'm 42 years old. I understand what you're saying, Shannon. But I wasn't always 42. And you weren't always the age you are. We were all young before. So it's in your delivery. You have a platform on national TV. The tone that you spoke with, the things that you brought up are the exact problem that we have. Where people take shots at this young man. You didn't keep it strictly about Lamar Jackson and his event. You talked about him speeding. You talked about him jumping over a jet ski. Things that happened once and didn't happen since. That's what you talked about. So this young man has to feel like, gosh, everything I do, these people destroy me about. But you give passes to everybody else. You know, we give passes let's just think about this for a second. Didn't Ben Roethlisberger have a motorcycle accident and smash his whole face in and miss a whole season? Didn't that happen? He still got his contract. Like, guys do things, Shannon, when they're young. My point is, you double down on taking a shot at him. If you were going to say, you know, maybe he thinks if you wanted to prove that you weren't criticizing him, speak to the things you spoke to about your brother. Speak to the things you spoke to about Aaron Donald. Speak to all of those things about all the other guys who had camps and didn't do what Lamar did. But when you start bringing up speeding, when you start bringing up speedboats, that's taking shots at the guy, and he's a young cat. As an older cat, you're supposed to understand his mind frame because you went through it. So while you should understand where he's coming from, you clearly don't. And I don't know how you don't get the message, because you came up, as you say, through poverty. So when people come up through poverty and they have an opportunity to do things that they've always wanted to do, maybe Lamar Jackson said, you know what, I always wanted to have a camp of my own. I always wanted to show kids, and I want to be different from the other people, and I want to interact with them on a different level. Maybe give him some advice on the low. But you come out there on TV and you help the community to take shots at him, he's going to feel like you're a part of that community. And rightfully so. Again, regular Ravens fan, I understand what you're saying. As a matter of fact, most of us that are older than Lamar Jackson understand what you're saying. We get it. But it's your delivery that's false. It's your delivery that's a failure. It's your delivery that is adding to the hate and the negative narratives that are constantly painted on Lamar Jackson. I have not heard one person truly come out there and paint him in a positive light for giving back to the kids at a totally free event. I didn't hear anybody saying it's a wonderful thing he did, giving these kids an experience that you can't put a dollar amount on, because they can go tell their friends and can remember the time that they actually touched and competed against Lamar Jackson, to maybe give them the encouragement and the want to say, you know what, I competed against Lamar Jackson, maybe believing in their mind that he was going full speed. So maybe now they try to better themselves. No one is giving him credit for that. We've taken shots at him. You taking shots at him because he drove his car fast. You taking shots at him because he was on the beach and he jumped over a speedboat. Now we're taking shots at him because he was on a hard court playing DB and wide receiver. All the while missing the fact that in none of these instances did he get one injury. So while you want to deliver the message, it was no harm, no foul. Deliver it in the proper way. If you want someone to receive what you're giving them, you got to give it to them in a way that they're going to be able to take it. And I wouldn't be able to take it like that either. If you talk to me about one thing I did negative and you're bringing up everything else I did negative, I'm going to feel like you are just being negative, like you have no positivity in your message. And this is what the national media does. And they use people like you, Sharpe, because I can understand that you hurt with his reaction to you, because you said you should keep your damn mouth shut. That's how I know that you're hurt by his reaction. But you letting these cronies and these clowns, and as another good man said, the go along, get along gang, use you to paint a further negative picture on a young man who is doing nothing but positivity. Even if you disagree with what he did, you gotta at least agree and acknowledge the positivity in his actions. He didn't do that to turn his nose up at somebody and say, look at me, look what I can do on the basketball court. He did it to interact with the kids. And on that level alone, we should leave him alone. You should have called him up privately. You could have went to TV and said, hey, man, he's young. You could have spun it like that. You had the platform to say, man, he's young, and these young guys, sometimes, they don't know what they don't know. And he would have received it much differently. But you came and you attacked him. You attacked him about the few negative things he's done. I mean, they're not really negatives. Driving fast. What young person hasn't driven fast? Having the ability to jump over jet ski. What young person hasn't done these types of things? We've all played football on the beach. He's young. He has never gotten that generational wealth. Let him grow and stop trying to make him be a finished product. He's a developing young man. Allow him to develop and walk his walk of his life's path the same way you did. But don't attack him. Don't let these people use you, Shannon Sharpe. You can't be a part of the hate. You can't be. This regular Ravens fan, man. I just wanted to show y'all how the national media will use anything they can to paint this young man in a negative light. And right now they're using Shannon Sharpe's emotions against him. He's hurt. Shannon, you hurt. You hurt because everybody came at you on Twitter and everywhere else because people didn't like what you said. Again, it was because of your delivery. It wasn't necessarily because of your message, because we all get that. It's your delivery, bruh. Regular Ravens fan, Ravens for life. You maybe need to reach out to some of us regular people and talk to us to understand, because you're getting disconnected. Come on back, man. We'll accept you. We're forgiving people. Come on back, man. Regular Ravens fan, Ravens for life. We out here.